The next step, or the last few steps here in beam design, is to calculate and determine the allowable deflection. This is the amount that we are going to actually allow our beam to sag or deflect. And keep in mind that we want to limit this because the beam might be perfectly capable of holding the loads for moments and perfectly capable for shear. But if it bends too much and I've got a plaster ceiling, it can cause the plaster to crack. The other thing is, if you have a bridge or a beam and it sags down like that, it may be perfectly capable of holding everything, but it's actually one that you're going to want to walk across. So that's why we are looking at deflection. So we're going to determine this in two different ways. We are going to determine the deflection for the live load and the dead load, and then we're just going to determine a deflection limit for just the live load. So the live load and dead load allowable deflections are going to be L over 240. And we want this to be in inches. So we have to convert the length of the beam from feet to inches. And in the design problem that we're looking at, this beam was 18 feet long. So we're just going to do 18 feet times 12 divided by 1. The feet cancel out. And I'm left with a beam that is 216 inches long. Divide that by 240. And my deflection limit for the dead load and the live load is 0.9 inches. So this is our deflection limit when we're looking at the live load and the dead load. The next step is to look at the deflection limit for just the live load. And we're actually going to restrict this even more when we're looking at the live load. And so we're going to divide by a larger number so that we get a smaller number in the end. The length of the beam is still 216 inches long. And it is 300 divided by 360. So my deflection limit for just the live load is 0.6 inches. So these are the limits. Now the next step in the next video, we're going to look at what that beam, that W12 by 14 that we have been looking at, what is its actual deflection, and does it meet the requirements for these two loading situations? So keep an eye out for that.